Since you're talking about toxic behavior in men, there's this idea that a lot of people have gotten a lot of exposure to this awakening of this generation. So there's this idea that men don't have a lot of models to live by. Do you think that's true? If a generation of young men grew up seeing one thing in movies, homes, everything, everywhere, and then there is a shift towards, what's considered right now and what's genuinely right now. So do you think that young men would find it easy if they have models to live by? Or do you think that shift will happen organically?
I think there are lots of young men who have models. I'm not talking that every family is filled with toxic people. Yeah. I'm saying every family has toxic people, but there will also be like good people in that family who don't have toxic behaviors. So I'm saying that if you don't get that model at home, like I found my models outside of home. My friend who lived in the flat downstairs, his father was a great model for me because of the way he came home and spent time with his children and took place. Because there's always this, for parenting, there's always this logistical side of parenting and then the emotional side of parenting, right? The logistical side is, buying books, school, geometry box, all that kind of stuff. It's like the food or food or whatever it is. The emotional side is actually was for the longest time in India a very neglected side, because it's like, you just grew up like reeds. Nobody came and asked you at home, how did school go? Something. Then nobody talked to you. Like it's pretty much like because it was like, okay, you're a kid, go play, whatever, something like that. This gentleman, like he would actually ask me things about stuff, what do you think you want to be when you grow up, and this and that, and like what are your, do you do this well, do you do that well, and stuff like that. He used to talk to me, and I'm not even a son. So everybody I think has people like that around them, it could be a school teacher, it could be somebody else, it could be people like that. And I think those behaviors, you kind of realize, but that also requires the willingness to realize, because there are a lot of people very happy being the dicks they are, and they don't even know that they're that kind of people, right? So lots of people like very happy being those kinds of people simply because they'll be just reading the newspaper, they'll expect the wife to come make coffee. So there's still that huge population there that expects that and wants that. But luckily today, more and more women are coming out of relationships like that, or rebelling against relationships like that, because they're seeing a lot of people who are kind of a thing. Because if you look at the Tamil Nadu divorce statistics, they've just risen like crazy, and people are just not willing to put up with a lot of things anymore. I'm not I'm not getting into the details, but so I'm saying that the very fact that you ask this question shows me that you are thinking about this as a problem and how kind of a thing. Whereas to a lot of people, this is just a behavior they imbibed from their father, who imbibed it from his father.
And they don't know it's wrong.
And they don't know it's wrong. Yeah. So they don't even know that this is a problem. And because many women don't speak up, they continue this toxic behavior. So it's not just like uneducated or educated, village or city. It's all both. You could find the kindest people in a village and the most toxic people in the city, or whatever it is. It all depends on individual people. Which is why I feel that when we watch movies, we should treat it as, this is the story of this particular man in this particular household, loving this particular girl who comes from that particular household, instead of generally saying, men are shown to be so and so in this movie, or women are shown to be so and so. No, it's not men. It's this one man's story. So, see, for example, one classic thing is Arjun Reddy, right? Because it generated so much of thing. Now, the director, right at the beginning of the movie, has planted this flaw in this character, saying that he has severe anger management issues. Now, after that, if you're going to go and write reams of essays about how he slapped his girlfriend, how does that make any sense? Because the movie itself knows that it's not right. The movie is showing that he's punished for it, because he slowly loses his narcissism, and he's able to make the right decision when he loses his doctor's license, and he voluntarily gives it up by speaking the truth when his father is willing to cover up for him. And then he gets on the journey, and only then does he become deserving of getting the girl again. And only after he says that, I don't care whose baby it is, it's still mine. So there are redemptive qualities to that. I wish it had been the other man's baby and not his own, whatever it is, but baby steps, right? So what I'm saying is, now when you've already planted this, you have to look at it as per the screenplay. This guy is a guy with anger management issues. He is not representative of all men who are slapping on, because in the real world, if a man slaps his woman because she brought coffee that was cold or tea that was cold, you can't immediately go back and say go back to Arjun Reddy and say, oh, it's because of this movie that this is happening or whatever. These are two very different circumstances. So movies are fiction. Fiction is about that one particular character, and so if they're justified, I'm looking for justification. I don't want him to be a good guy, but I need to know something to get into psychology. And that anger management issues is giving me enough to get into that, and narcissism issues. Okay. Like he thinks he's a stud. Yeah. So, like kind of a thing. That right at the beginning of the movie, his grandmother gives this thing saying that he always had this toy that he would never share. If he liked a toy, he owned it and he never would share it with other people. And the girl becomes his toy. Everything is explained in the movie. There is no psychological behavior in the movie that is away from the way the characters are defined. So you may like or not like the movie, that's a different thing. But to kind of take that as an example of a community or men or women or, oh, she's a doormat, she's putting up with it. That's because that girl is like that. She loves him, and life, if everybody made the right decisions in life, everybody would be happy. Yeah? The word angst would not exist. Like everybody makes mistakes. So I don't know, but that's one kind of writing that has come up recently, or analysis, which I'm not against it, but I also feel that sometimes you should look at a movie as something that is contained within the four, like sides of the screen, and it's not necessarily everything that is coming out into the real world.